Theme: Jehovah rewards faithful obedience. Please subscribe, and if you find this video encouraging, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family.
We will not drink wine. Jehonadab commanded us. Neither you nor your sons must ever drink wine.
Brothers and sisters, all of us want to have Jehovah's approval. We want him to see us as faithful servants, and we look forward to the day when he rewards those who remain loyal to him. But there is an important question each of us needs to ask. Do I obey Jehovah because I love him, or mainly when I need his help? That question is especially important because our circumstances can influence our obedience. When we are under pressure, we may become very serious about spiritual things. We pray more. We attend meetings. We make changes. But what happens when the pressure disappears? Do we continue obeying Jehovah with the same determination? The account recorded at Jeremiah 34 gives us a warning about this. At that time, Zedekiah was king of Judah. The Babylonians had placed him on the throne, but he rebelled against them, despite Jehovah's direction through Jeremiah. As a result, the Babylonians came against Jerusalem and surrounded the city. Now the situation was frightening. The king and the people realized that they were in serious danger. So they made a covenant to release their Hebrew slaves. This was in harmony with Jehovah's law, which provided that Hebrew slaves were to be released after serving for a certain period. At first, that sounds encouraging. The people were finally doing what Jehovah required. But notice the timing. They did not suddenly develop a deep love for Jehovah's standards. The enemy was surrounding them. They needed Jehovah's help, so obedience suddenly seemed very important. Then something happened. An Egyptian military force came to help Jerusalem, and the Babylonian army temporarily withdrew. The immediate danger appeared to be gone. What did the people do? They took back the slaves they had released and forced them into slavery again. Jeremiah 34:11 exposes what was really in their hearts. When they were in danger, they obeyed. When the danger passed, they returned to their old ways. What a powerful warning for us. We should never view obedience to Jehovah as something we use to try to escape trouble. We do not want to think, if I obey Jehovah now, perhaps he will solve my problem. Of course, Jehovah does care about us, and he does answer our prayers. But genuine obedience goes deeper. We obey because Jehovah is our sovereign, because we love him, and because we trust that his way is always best. Think about a practical situation. Suppose a Christian is facing a serious personal problem. Suddenly, meetings become extremely important. Personal Bible study becomes a priority. The person prays frequently and seeks spiritual help. Those are all good things. But when the problem is resolved, what happens? Does the spiritual routine continue? Or perhaps someone is tempted to make a questionable decision. At first, the consequences seem frightening, so the person decides to do what Jehovah says. But later, the circumstances change. The temptation remains, but the apparent consequences seem less serious. Will that person still obey? Faithful obedience says, even if the consequences seem small, I will not disobey Jehovah. That brings us to another example, one that is very different from the people in Jeremiah 34. The Rechabites were living in Jeremiah's day. More than 2 centuries earlier, their forefather Jehonadab had given them certain instructions. One of those instructions was that they were not to drink wine. Jehonadab had been dead for a long time, yet the Rechabites continued to respect his command. Jehovah wanted their example to be highlighted, so Jeremiah was instructed to bring the Rechabites into a dining room at the temple. Wine was placed before them, and they were invited to drink. Think about that situation. They were not being threatened. They were not trying to escape an army. They were not under immediate pressure. No human judge was standing over them. And the person who had given them the instruction was no longer alive, yet they refused. Why? Because obedience had become part of who they were. Their attitude was essentially, our forefather gave us this instruction, and we have decided to respect it. What an excellent example for us. If the Rechabites were willing to obey the instruction of an earthly ancestor who had been dead for many years, how much more should we be determined to obey Jehovah, the living God? And there is another important difference. The Rechabites were obeying a human command. We obey Jehovah's commands, which come from the one who knows us completely and always has our best interests at heart. So when Jehovah gives us direction through His Word and through the arrangements He has provided for His people, we do not want to ask, how close can I get to the line without actually crossing it? Instead, we want to ask, what would Jehovah want me to do? That attitude can protect us. Think of a young brother or sister who has a choice about entertainment, friendships, social media, or dating. Perhaps nobody else would know about the decision. The question is not simply, will I get caught? The better question is, will this choice please Jehovah? Or think of a married couple facing a disagreement. It might be easy to justify harsh words because, in their view, the other person was wrong. But faithful obedience asks, what does Jehovah expect from me right now? That can move us to show mildness, forgiveness, and love even when we feel justified. Or consider our ministry. Sometimes we may feel enthusiastic because we have received an encouraging experience. At other times, we may feel tired, discouraged, or busy. Faithful obedience means that our service to Jehovah is not controlled entirely by our emotions. We keep going because our dedication to Jehovah does not change every time our circumstances change. The Rechabites' obedience pleased Jehovah. In Jeremiah 35, Jehovah contrasted their obedience with the disobedience of the Judeans. And Jehovah promised the Rechabites that there would always be one of their descendants standing before Him. What does that teach us? Jehovah notices faithful obedience. It may seem that nobody else notices what we do. You quietly resist a temptation. You continue attending meetings when you are exhausted. Perhaps you keep serving faithfully despite discouragement. Perhaps you obey a Bible principle even though doing so costs you something. Jehovah sees it. He does not forget loyal obedience. The history of the Rechabites also indicates that they survived the calamity that came upon Jerusalem and were able to continue as a people. Their experience illustrates an important principle. Strict obedience to Jehovah is always the safe course. We should not obey Jehovah merely because we are afraid of what might happen if we do not. We obey because we trust Him. And that trust becomes especially important as we look toward the Great Tribulation. We cannot know exactly what pressures we will face, but we can know what kind of person we want to be when those pressures come. If we practice faithful obedience now, we will be strengthening the heart that will help us remain faithful then. So, brothers and sisters, let us learn from both groups in Jeremiah. The Jews in Jeremiah 34 obeyed when they needed help, but when the pressure was removed, they went back to disobedience. The Rechabites obeyed consistently, even when there was no immediate pressure and even though the human source of their instruction had long been dead. Which example will we imitate? Let us determine that our obedience will not depend on whether we are in trouble or whether Jehovah's direction happens to be convenient. Let us obey because we love Jehovah. Let us allow His Word to mold our thinking, our choices, our entertainment, our friendships, our family life, and our worship. And when obedience is difficult, let us remember this simple truth. Jehovah rewards faithful obedience. As we conclude, I would like each of us to reflect personally on this question. Am I resolved to obey Jehovah, even if at times I feel I could avoid the consequences of disobedience? May our answer, not merely in words, but by the way we live, always be yes. If we remain faithful and obedient to Jehovah, we can be confident that He will never forget our loyalty and that His promised reward is worth far more than anything we might gain by disobeying Him.
We will not drink wine. Jehonadab commanded us. Neither you nor your sons must ever drink wine.
Please subscribe.